Welcome. Hello to another Momentum Monday with me, Emily McHugh. And today it's all about how to supercharge your presentations in Canva. I'm going to share with you how I create presentations in Canva, kind of a quick overview tutorial with some tips on using Canva. So if you're interested in making your presentation stand out in a special Canva way, stay tuned for today's episode. Welcome. So happy to see you today. Hope you have a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week ahead as we supercharge through this week. So today on Momentum Monday, Supercharge with Emily, the podcast, I'm going to share with you a little bit behind the scenes of how I use Canva, one of my most favorite apps in the world. If not for Canva, I don't know what I would do. It has changed my life. It has unleashed creativity. It has allowed me to do things that normally you'd have to pay a graphic designer thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do. But because of this amazing technology, anybody can do it themselves. If you have a little bit of an eye for design and a sense of color and the structure of what design requires, you can make some really incredible Canva presentations. Now, Canva can be a little overwhelming at times, so I'm not going to oversimplify this because especially if you're new to it, you see all these options and you don't know where to start. But today specifically, I want to share with you how I do presentations, like how I create slides like this that I use in my eCam, which is my video production app, which is another amazing app, people. Okay, that's one of the reasons I love eCam. It has sound effects. You can do overlays. Like you see this welcome parrot here, that's called an overlay. So we're going to just jump into the presentation part. So I'm going to take you into my Canva screen. So welcome to my Canva world. This is the home page on Canva. Now, this is not a tutorial on how to use Canva if you have no understanding of it, but specifically on presentations. But it would also give you an idea on how to do other things. So this is the home page. When I come into Canva, here you'll see home, right? Let me see if I'm pointing in the place where you can see home. I don't know if you can see my pointer. All right, maybe you can't. All right, fine. Home is over there where it says under the word Canva, you'll see home. All right, from there, you'll see where I have it's hovering where it says create a design. So we're going to start there today. Now I have all kinds of templates and all kinds of stuff that I normally use, but today, since I'm doing it from scratch, I want to show you from scratch. So go and click where it says create a design, and we'll start there. You'll see a whole drop down list of all the kind of presentations you can do in Canva. You can literally do a search. I can type the word presentation, or I can scroll down and I'll see it. So presentations right here, I'm going to click that. I'm going to get a blank screen. So I like to start things from scratch if I'm building it out, but again, showing you how to do it from scratch. Now, my topic today is how to create a Canva presentation, and I'm going to focus on the topic of self-care because July is self-care month and all of that. So I thought that would be a good theme. So I go over here where you see on your, left or right, wherever, you see this whole list of potential presentation styles and formats. And Canva allows you to choose what style you want based on keywords. So I can just look at this and say, oh, I like something and pick it, or I can do a keyword search in the keyword bar. So self-care is my theme. So I'm going to click self-care. It gives me all kinds of presentations that could be self-care related. And I can just pick one that suits a style that I have. Some of them are videos and some of them are just multi-page presentation styles. Now, if you have a pro or free account in Canva, will determine what you're going to see for options. So a pro account means you have access to all the features. I have a pro account I mean, I couldn't live without that either. I need all that they have to offer because I use all of it. But one of the caveats you have to keep in mind that if you're designing something to sell or resell, it has to be free. It cannot be a pro feature. So you can go and eliminate all the pro options. So a pro option will be like this little crown and it will say pro on it. So that's a paid feature in Canva. So if I only want to see free options, I go up to this little box up here. I click that and then I'm going to sort for free. Now, where is my thing that lets me see free? That's kind of weird. It's not giving me my drop down to choose. That's unusual. I've never seen that happen before. Of course it would happen while I'm live in front of you. That is strange. Let me see something. Maybe remove the self-care thing. That is really weird. Anyway, normally what I would get right here is, let me click that. What I would get is a drop down that allows me to select the free features. So this is really strange why this is not happening right now. So we'll just ignore that today. We'll go back to self-care. But I can select a non-free feature if I want. Okay. That is weird. All right. I won't get hung up on that. I will not get hung up on that today. So, all right. So let me just pick something that I think might be kind of cool. And I'm going to just show you how I change it and I adjust it. So let's pick this one, self-care for busy women. So you see all these different slides and I can either select all of them, apply all 24 pages, or I could just select the ones that I like. So let's say I'm going to select all of them for today and it will populate all these different pages here. So that's wonderful. But let's say I don't want to use that purple. I don't want to use these photos. I have other things I want to say, but I like the format. So the first thing is you start with your topic in mind, as I said, self-care, and I want a presentation format that matches my topic. Then what is my intent? What is the purpose of my presentation? Is it to train? Is it to just highlight some points? How it will determine how dense I want it to be in terms of content. And then of course, who's my audience? What's the tone? What is the feel that I want to have? And that will all affect what I put into this presentation. And of course, the layout. But the key thing I want you to remember is keyword search. That is really key in Canva for anything you design. Do a keyword search for elements, for photos, for anything that you need. And then we're going to talk about styles, fonts, and text, whatever. And of course, obviously, ultimately, your content, what you want to show. So when I select something that I like, and let's start with this home page here. This is the home page. So this is like, first of all, guys, I don't use PowerPoint anymore. I do not need to because I can do so much dynamic stuff in Canva. But I can go in here. The first thing I might want to do is change the color palette. So that lavender, say I don't like it lavender, I want it to be a lighter color like this or a light blue. I can change it. I can apply that color throughout by going to the bottom where it says change all. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. No, it's not showing you. For whatever reason, it's not showing you. But anyway, at the very bottom of this color palette selection, it says change all. I can change all, and every slide now will, instead of being blue, purple will be blue. All right, so that's one thing I can do. Now, it did not change the text. It only changed it on the background. So it'll be very specific. So if I go here to this and I say, okay, I want that lavender, I want that blue. I want to change all the text that's purple to blue. Boom. Click that, click change all, and then all of it is changed, except on the particular side. Actually, it should go throughout the entire presentation. Maybe it's because this is a black. Let me see. Let's see here. If I go to that and I click the blue again, it's not giving me the change all option for that. Interesting. You learn something new every day in Canva. That's kind of strange. Normally it would be change all of it would change, and I wouldn't have to go through it each like this. Okay, another thing Canva is like, I need another sound effect for that weirdness it's doing today, but whatever. You get the idea. You just have to go with the flow, people. Go with the flow. But the idea, the intent is that it changes the whole thing, and usually it does work. Maybe this particular slide presentation is being stupid. I don't know, whatever. But of course I'd have to pick one that wants to misbehave itself. All right, calm down, screen. Just calm yourself down. All right. Okay, so let me fast forward some things. So usually what I do when by the time I'm done with a slideshow, it's completely different than what you've seen here. Like I'm gonna probably change the fonts. I'm gonna take out stuff that I don't want. You know, you can just delete, you can add, you can change, you can do whatever. You can change the fonts. Obviously, if you don't like that font, pick another font and it will change it. Okay, but the font that it has already is pretty good. But you can change your fonts and all that stuff to match your brand. And I do have a brand hub, by the way, which we don't have time to get into that today because it's a bit going to make this too long. But I have brand colors that I can select. From my brand colors, it can automatically change up all the slides just by me clicking on my brand colors. And it can reshuffle it any which way. And I can then go back and decide, you know, how I want it to be. But these are just things that Canva can do for you. You know, you can do all kinds of cool things in here. So that is one. That is from the palette. No, I don't really like that color, but whatever. The point is you can do these types of things. Now, from here, I'm going to give you a sense of sometimes I may want to bring in an element. Like let's say, for example, I want to change this photo. This image may not match my brand style. So I'll go down to where it says on the left hand side over here, you see me scrolling. I have a photo library that Canva provides, and I can select photos that I want. Let's say I want a self-care photo. And it brings up all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I can go through it and see which images I like or think are kind of cool. Let's say this one looking out the window. I like that. I just drag it over here. Now, I can pull it over so I can get to see what I want in the image. I can change the image if I prefer this one. Drop that in there. That's a nice self-care one too. Maybe over here, I want this image differently. I bring this one back. And I just drop it in. And I can move the photo, crop it in to be what I want it to be. All right, so that's just an example of using photos. So I can go through the whole presentation and change out photos and do whatever. Now, let's say I want to bring in some kind of graphic or something. So you go over to where it says elements, and I click again. I want to do self-care. And I might like, you know, let's see, I might want something that's a graphic look, and it's time for self-care. Well, I could do something like that, but I wouldn't put text with text because that looks kind of conflicting. But what I might want to do is take that out of there and put it somewhere where it actually would make sense. So if I had like a slide that was, I don't know if it has a slide that actually works for that, but I can create a slide and just put it back. Oops, no, let's undo that one. And the undo button, I want to do, say this. I can do that. And here's a nice cool feature with Canva. Let's say that you want to make this text a different color. Once it's an image, sometimes some images you cannot edit, some you can. This one, I can change the color. I can make it maybe a nice purple, a nice yellowish color, or whatever color I want, and do that. I can tilt it, slant it, turn it around, do whatever I want with the image, and you know, whatever. So that's an example of using elements. I love elements features. I use it all the time to create all the stuff that I create. And of course, let's say you just wanted to have a visual element. I'll just show you one of those. You can select from that as well. So let's go back. It shows you recently used things. I'm going to type in self-care again. Again, keywords is your keyword. That's the keyword I want you to remember today, to really think of that in your approach to Canva, because it will make your life so much easier when you do that. So let's just say I want a candle. I want this candle graphic or something like that. I can just put that here if I like it, or put it here. And this one, you'll notice it doesn't highlight for you to change the colors. So that's kind of the colors that it is. but you could select a graphic where you could change the color, like say maybe this one. And this one I can change the color because it's highlighted up here. So I can make it a different color if I like, or pink or something like that. Okay. So that's an example of elements. So I'm going to show you now, I'm going to go over to like when I do my presentations normally for Momentum Monday. So like, for example, last week I did this one. And sometimes I will do my thumbnails inside of my presentations so that I don't have to do it again. But this is an example. So let me just show you. So here you can insert your logo, okay, which I have saved in under logos, and I just insert it. I have my, I can create fonts, specific font windows. So I can go, or text boxes rather. I click on text. I can add a heading, like say Momentum Monday. And I don't want that font. Let's say I want it to be this font. The font is called Brittany. So I go and I highlight this, and I go and I look for the font that I want, Brittany, boom, and there I have it. And I can adjust it to whatever size I want or whatever. Okay, so this is, now I'm going kind of fast. So if you're like, oh, I didn't get that, just rewatch this, you know, rewatch it or slow it down and rewatch it. And that's all you got to do. Okay, but there's so many cool things you can do in Canva. That's why it's just like so much fun. You can do all kinds of add fonts, change things out, and just make things interesting. So let me just give you a couple little tips. So how do I just even create this thing? So I have shapes that I can add. Now, first of all, I did a 4th of July theme for last week, and I went and I created a graphic that was fireworks. So I went in and found fireworks. So I went into my elements, or I went into my photos. I can go into either one, and I just typed in the word fireworks. And I get all kinds of images, and I chose one, which was, I can choose this one, and I can change the background, make it the background, replace the background, and boom, there it is. Then I overlay on top of it things that I want to add, like I want to add a box so that I can write text so people can read it. And I can just do that and add a box and do it all kinds of ways. I like to center it. You see the pink line in the middle, it's centered. And then I want to add text. So I go click text, and then I'm like, okay, let's make things glow here today. So let's add the glow. Woo! So, yeah, there you go. And then I can change the text to say what I want it to say. And then, of course, I can change the size of the font. So this kind of font, that's like really huge. So I can bring it down, or I can adjust it like this. And voila. So that's an example of how you can layer things on and then create the graphics. And so when it comes to the photo, I can grab a photo, and I'll just wrap up with this because I could go on all day. Canva can be very involved, but this is just to give you a sense of how creative you can get without it being too complicated. So you're like, okay, how do I get my picture like this? So the first thing I do is I have to remove the background from a photo, and then I create double images, and then I can do stuff like this. Okay, so I'll show you this really quickly, and then as you can see, this is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I have a library of images that I use for myself. So let's say this is the image, but I don't want all that background stuff. So Canva has this awesome feature where you can click on it, edit the image, go to where it says background remover, people. This is like one of the #1 things about Canva that I love, and it takes away the background. So I can now use that however I want it, on a plain background or wherever. And so to get that outline that you saw me get, I'm going to duplicate the, oops, back up, back it up. Why didn't it not do that? All right, let's do that again real quick. Come on, guys, cooperate. All right, so that's what I did. Now, normally when I do a duplicate, it would just double it and it wouldn't bring me back to the recropped, uncropped image. So that's kind of weird. Why is it doing all these weird things today? It never normally does that. So I don't know. But I'm not gonna, as I said, I'm not gonna fuss because of the interest of time. This could go on too long. But let's try it one last time. Okay, now it's doing it. Okay, whatever. You have to kind of roll with it. Sometimes it acts the fool, and when it does, you just have to, whatever. But flex with it, flex with it. So how do I want to make that second image of me shadowy or what have you? I go and I choose a color, normally duotone, I think is what I did. And I picked one of these. So let's say I picked the amber color. And then what I do is I'm going to overlay. Now, you see how that's behind it and I want it to be in front of it? You change the position. So what's this is going to be? This is going to become position, come to the front, and bam, like that. So this is automatically behind it. And I just overlay this on top. And you just have to keep track of what you're actually moving because it can get a little confusing. And that's how I do it. Okay, all right, that's a few of my little tricks and secrets behind the scenes. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, little tutorials or anything in particular about Canva that you would find helpful for you in creating a presentation or what have you. But that's some little ways you can go about it and do all kinds of other things along the way and create really amazing presentations. So with that being said, guys, remember this week we are doing our Supercharge Club, Supercharge CEO. Let me show you. That's coming up there. And it says July 11th, but it's not. It's going to be it's just, yeah, it is the 11th. Yeah. Today's the 10th. Tomorrow's the 11th. Yeah, that's our next meeting at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And of course, also the Supercharge Club, guys, look. You want to help with your business, working on your business, this is the place to be. So with that said, I'm going to wish you a really happy Momentum Monday. Let me know your questions or comments below. I would love your feedback on this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all the stuff you need to do wherever you're watching this from today. And let me know what you think of this video and if it's helpful or if you have any questions. And with that, I'm going to say bye-bye until next time and stay supercharged.